Hi, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to our interesting save here as we go through the NCAA with BYU. And as you can see, we have kind of a stripped down side here. You can't really see it so much from here, but we have a whole bunch of players who are injured. One player suspended, one player on holiday, two other players with the red type of injuries, and then we got four on the bench with the orange injury icon, which means that we're going to try not to put them in. We just barely beat Oregon State in our first match of the season, 1-0, and now we're here in the College Cup trying to win on the road against Wazoo, Washington State, and I don't really like our chances here. This is what happens when you get this sort of editor data file, as I've been complaining about the whole time, that doesn't really allow you to do any transfers, and BYU has the ball here. It's Martin with the ball. He's going to move this up forward very, very slowly, and it's intercepted there by Delgado, who passes it along, and Garcia gets a foot onto it over to Aldana, and I'm not sure what he's doing with that. Is that a pass? Is that a shot? I'm not quite sure what that was. Washington State had a chance at a counterattack, and that just fizzled out in the end, and we're just going to continue, and we'll keep on going. Kind of a ridiculous performance here so far by BYU. We're not looking so hot at all. Delgado with the ball, and he's just going to throw this one on into Smith. Up to Whittingham. Whittingham in a crossing position, and Cook for us, fortunately, is able to get onto that one, but they cross it again, and Hansen's wide open. Fortunately for us, Korn is there to make the save. I've said this before, I'll say it again. One of the problems that we have is that because we really can't realistically do transfers, this is because foreign players have to have a potential ability of 200, which is the highest rating in the game, so there's going to be nobody can come over, and because we can only sign 4 players in any given transfer window, i.e. 4 players per year, we're really stuck with the guys that we have, and that was an attacking opportunity by us that I probably should have been talking about. This looked interesting as we kind of dumped it from one side to the other, and it was Garcia here with a good cross, and he was looking in there for who? He was looking in there for Silvas. He found Aldana, and Silvas then with the shot that hit straight off the goaltender. Sun Hyun Tech now passes up to Bowden, and that is intercepted in the end. And it's going to be brought down by Aldana and ends up with it, and that's sent out for a corner. As I was saying, because of those transfer restrictions, it really depends upon our reputation and the sort of young players that we can build up through the youth system. And that header is out and above the goal, and that's the end of that. It makes it really, really challenging, really, really difficult here because you can't really go around and say, oh, I'm going to go find this like great player using my scouts. Instead, it's like, well, this is what we have, and we can get maybe a couple of guys, and that's it. And Delgado here with the free kick, and he kicks this one forward for Washington State, and it ends up going as far as Whittingham, who was their player. Delgado with it again, and Silvas for us, fortunately, is able to intercept that, and he's going to run this one up the field. Passes it back to Solano. Solano over to Silvas again. He finds Bowden. Down to Sun Hyun Tech. Sun Hyun Tech over to Martin. Martin will walk this one forward a little bit, passes it back to Matt Williams. Matt Williams penetrates a little bit over to Sun Hyun Tech, over to Aldana in somewhat of a position. He passes it to Bowden, and we have a bunch of guys standing behind Aldana. I know that the thing at the bottom just said, what a move by BYU. That wasn't what a move. That would be more like what move. I'm not sure what we were trying to do. Gallagher here goes back to get this one. He's going to be sent off for a foul, second foul of the game, and man, it goes from bad to worse for us here. Chris Gallagher again has a yellow card. This is not the first time this season he's had to deal with this. And now comes the question. I mean, do we get rid of him? Do we get rid of Silvas? What do we do? Do we just go down to 2 defenders deep? Well, I've done this before. I'm going to do it again. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go down. We're going to keep 2 defenders deep, and we're just going to keep it like this. So we only have 3 men really playing in defense. 4, I guess, if you count the goalkeeper. And, yeah, we're going to see how this goes. I have a feeling that our time here in this College Cup is going to be extremely limited. Hall with the free kick for Washington State. Goes back to Rodriguez, over to McMillan, over to Smith now with it. Smith takes it up. And it takes it back. Martin fouling him a little bit, and there's a cross up there to Hansen. I was about to say it looked like Martin may have fouled him in the penalty area or just right outside of it, but it wasn't called. Matt Williams passes this here to Sun Hyun Tech. Sun Hyun Tech with it looks down to Garcia, over to Bowden. Bowden forward looking for Aldana, and he's just not in the right position. It looks like it's going to be another poor match by Aldana. He's had a number of those straight here, and we need to get back on defense. And there's a cross by them. But fortunately, Sun Hyun Tech had a foot onto that one. Bowden now with it looks forward for Solano. It's amazing that we're able to play defense like that when you consider we only have 2 guys back in defense. Solano crosses forward looking for Aldana, and that one hits off the top of the goal. And as usual, our attack is aiming at like maybe the 9th or 10th row. You can see that happening. We need to figure out how to shoot. I don't know who's in charge of these trainings. Son Hyunteg with it now over to Silvas. Silvas passes this forward looking for Aldana, who has it in front of the defense and scores the goal. That's the one thing that Cesar Aldana is able to do. If he gets the ball in the right place and the defenders fall asleep on him, he can just take the ball and go around the goalkeeper and make the easy goal. 1-0 BYU, and that's totally against the run of play. Totally undeserved. He's onside clearly, and he does a smart thing by not going for the ball right away. The defenders are playing the man, not the ball, and that's exactly what happened. That should have been intercepted. Could have been intercepted by at least 2 Washington State defenders. They're going to say tight off sides, and I don't think so. You see right there, it's not that tight at all. It's about half a yard or so, and Aldana then able to apply the excellent finish. 1-0 BYU, and maybe we can hold out on this one. Let's see what happens. Rodriguez with it now over to Willingham. Whittingham over to McMillan, over to Smith, and then to Hansen, who has a shot, and Korn's able to get onto that. That was a really poor shot there by Hansen for Washington State. Whittingham, of course, interesting name because that's the name of what the old the University of Utah football head coach in real life, right? So you know that all of these names here are just sort of randomly chosen because it is Football Manager, but interesting to note all of the interesting trends, similarities, etc. And there's another movement by Washington State that, again, should have resulted in a goal. I'm not quite sure how we prevented that from happening. I think that they're just having a hard time with finishing. Washington State, not exactly the best NCAA football team in real life anyway, and so maybe their reputation is not that much higher than ours. I don't know. But fortunately for us, Korn is a very good goaltender and was able to go over and get rid of that nonsense before it really hurt us. And it's a 1-0 match. And I guess I'm pleased with that. I'm actually not, but I'm just doing whatever the assistant manager tells me to do. We're going to take a look. This is the screen that we wanted to be on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we make 5 substitutions now? We might as well. All right, we'll put Meza in. Bowden, you can come off for Chavez, and Silvas can't come off. There's nobody there to replace him. Son Hyunteg can't come off. There's no one there. Matt Williams will come off here for McNellis, and that'll do it. And let's see what happens. Let's see if we can hold on. I'm not so sure about this one. I'm not sure that I have a very good feeling about it. Cook takes this up, though. Somebody told me that defenders who can dribble the ball up like that is overpowered in FM23. I'm not quite sure how you go about testing that sort of thing. Cook here with this cross, and it unfortunately does not find Aldana, who probably was offside anyway. And Washington State has the free kick. I'm not seeing anything overpowered here, if you ask me. We look like we're not playing well at all. Korn grabs that and is looking for somebody to distribute it to. Of course, he's missing a defender. Passes it over there to Cook on the side, down to Solano, over to Chavez. Chavez up to Martin. Martin to Aldana, and that ends up being taken away by Washington State. And we need to go back and to get the ball again. Fortunately for us, they lob it forward foolishly over to McNellis. I'm not quite sure what they were trying to do with that there. It's Chavez with this, passes forward for Aldana, who had the keeper rounded. And unfortunately, it goes out for a throw. Solano here with the throw over to Silvas. Silvas with the ball finds Son Hyunteg. Son Hyunteg just sort of stands there and waits for a second. Over to McNellis, and this is not necessarily the prettiest Football Manager I've ever seen, I'll tell you that much. McMillan over to Hansen. Hansen looks forward, finds Smith, and I'm surprised because he had, what's his name, there at front, wide open and onside, nobody in front of him. And a little bit of odd decision-making there by Washington State. I'm not going to complain about it too much because we'll take it. Korn is able to retain his clean sheet by making that stop. And, boy, where would we be without Darren Silvas? I was just looking there at the match stats, and it looks like he's probably playing better than anybody else out there with that one one assist of his. Cook here knocks it backwards towards Korn, and I hate it when they do that. Over to McNellis now on the left side. McNellis looks forward, finds Martin. Martin looks forward. He goes over to Meza, and Whittingham, once again, is there to make the interception. And it's Washington State with the ball, and they're starting to pass it around us. And you can see some of the problem here. They got a guy there just sort of standing. It's Rodriguez. That's their striker. Over to Smith, and it's forward Rodriguez who scores the equalizer. You could see that coming. You could see that coming all the way. And that's what happens because we're down a defender. Thank you very much, Chris Gallagher. Second time he's been sent off this season, by the way. And, I guess when it's a big match, someone always gets sent off. BYU doesn't really have any sort of rivalry with Washington State. At least if there is one in real life, it's not reflected here in game. But it's not always rivalry matches that will bring out the worst in you. Sometimes this happens just because Football Manager does Football Manager things. 1-1 now the score, and we just have to hope that nobody else gets sent off. I worry about Son Hyun-taek. I don't have anyone to put on for him. Martin here with it. Over to Aldana, and he passes forward to Chavez, and that was a good idea. It's Meza with it now, who miraculously gets the clearance pass straight to him with nobody around him, and then that's knocked out for a corner. It's Silvas here now with the shot. Silvas takes it forward and over to Son Hyun-taek, who knocks this one over everybody's head, and it's out of play. Burkett with it now, the Washington State goalkeeper, over looking for Rodriguez, can't quite find him, and here is Rodriguez again, and it's just over. Oh my gosh, he had everybody beat in past the defense. He's onside the whole time, and this is looking pretty poor. It was good by Cook to win that, but this was really, really poor, and I think it was Cook who didn't get back. And we're fortunate that the finishing there was so poor. Otherwise, this is a 2-1 Washington State lead, and we really are in trouble. Meza with it now, looking for a counterattack. Looking forward, looking for Aldana, can't quite find him. Son Hyun-taek now over to Meza again and knocks forward for I'm not sure who, and this ends up sort of pinballing his way around, and McNellis has been sent off. And that's the second yellow card, and what do we do now? Okay, this is comment time. Let me know in the comments what you would do in this situation. I mean, do we do this? Do we really do this? Do we pull somebody back? I mean, do we have anybody if we're going to take like Chavez and take him off? Like if I put him down here and then, do we have, we have Alpha Doe. So let's put Alpha Doe on and we'll put Cook back here and we'll make Martin go right here and he will continue to play in that position. So apologies to Knapp if you're watching this or if anybody else there is watching it for butchering your tactic. But I'm not going to have one defender back. We're not going to get creamed. And let's see how this one goes. Wow. 2 red cards in this match. Really, really poor performance by the defense. And we put in Alpha Doe, who nobody likes in our squad. He passes it to Cook over to Martin now. Martin looks forward to Aldana. And if we score a winner here, I'm going to absolutely go nuts. Solano with it. Solano looks forward. Can't quite find anybody. Passes it finally to Silvas over to Son Hyun-taek, who for some reason is left completely unmarked. And that one goes up and over because, as always, when we shoot, we aim for the 10th row instead of aiming for the goal. It's Korn with it again, looks to Cook, and I think he's happy that we did make that sort of change. But as you can see, it's not doing us very well. And Rodriguez here has it. Unfortunately for us, he's offside. And we have about 15 more minutes left, apologies, to see this one out. And let's see what happens. This is probably the most nervous I've been in one of these BYU games so far. Diaz with it over to Soto. To Torres. They're all Spanish names. Rodriguez now over to Ideness Dooley, who's offside. Interesting in this, now just so you know, this is all 100% fictional, these players. These are all newly created players by Football Manager, but apparently in this version of the NCAA, everybody's got a Spanish name. Torres there with it and shoots that over everyone's head. I guess we have a couple others, right? Son Hyun-taek clearly is Korean, and Cook is an English name. Whittingham, I think, also an English name. But, boy, a lot of Spanish names here. Rodriguez now with this shot, and Korn is able, fortunately for us, to make the save. That one had top corner written all over it. Cook now over to Son Hyun-taek. Son Hyun-taek, and he has a strip from him, and it's over to Rodriguez for them now. Over back to Ideness Dooley. Ideness Dooley with the shot, and he really should have passed because there were 2 men there to his right who were wide open, who I think probably have better finishing than that. And it's Alpha Doe with this over to Cook now. Cook lumps it forward and it knocks over off of someone's head over to Forsyth, and it's Torres here with it again. And Korn jumps up and sort of grabs that one. And as I've said before, we're looking pretty poor. And Darren Silvas is absolutely broken and is going to have to keep playing. And if this one goes to extra time, I don't know what we're going to do. Solano throws this one in to nobody. And it's over to Ideness Dooley again, who is intercepted. Torres with is now looking forward to Rodriguez, and they find Rodriguez over to Whittingham, and he's looking for Diaz, and that is just a poor pass, and that's fortunate for us. But I'm not sure that we can do anything about it. Meza with this now looks over for Silvas. Silvas knocks this forward for Aldana, and that is offside anyway. That was a poor shot from a very difficult range. Silvas now with the throw in, and he throws it right to the Washington State player. Over to Rodriguez, to Torres, and to Soto now, and he has a shot from range. Again, fortunately for us, is over everybody's head. and Silvis has been injured. Woo-wee! So I've learned how to do this. If you're like me, if you're kind of an idiot at Football Manager, you right-click on something here, and you can just pull the player off somewhere here. You're supposed to be able to right-click. Well, we're going to find this again. I figured this out at one point in time or another. One of these things here, at least, you're supposed to be able to right-click and just say, come off. All right, I'm going to look for this here for a second. Just a sec. All right, I'm back again. I think the reason why I can't just pull them off is because we do have, I think we have enough substitutions. I think we have one more substitution left. And I think that's what it's kind of forcing me to do, is forcing me to make a substitution. It's going to be Cornelson, and we're going to put... we're going to do a little bit of kind of pushing around. So Cornelson will play up here. We're going to have Meza go back there because he can actually play the position. And Football Manager does really weird things from time to time, and that was definitely one of them. So we've had an injury. Solano here takes this corner, and it is Burkett, the Washington State goalkeeper, who goes and grabs it. And we've had far more than our allotted extra time. And there is a chance for them, again, with a counterattack, even though we have more players back. And oh my gosh, Alpha Doe just barely able to go back. And that's the reason why we wanted to have that second defender. And Cornelson stays with it even after that somewhat fierce tackle and moves it up forward and ends up kicking the ball straight off the defender. But that was an idea. Meza knocks it back to Cook. How many minutes of added time we're going to have, ref? I mean, this is ridiculous. It's supposed to be 4 minutes of added time. And can somebody tell me what's going on? Why do we have somebody sitting in the middle of the of the field without a chair? That was really weird. We're going to go back to the dressing room. We're going to say that we're happy with how things are going, and we're going to pray that nobody else gets injured. And okay, so you see this again, right? We do have one more substitution. We're going to take Sun Hyun Taek off for Celestine Herman, who really can't play that position, I don't think. Yeah, he can. He's a striker. But the game is telling me, hey, let's do it. So we're going to do it. And here we go. This is another extra time adventure for us. And we have a bunch of players playing out of position. No star ratings. Remember, this is hardcore mode. And Whittingham knocks this one forward again. This is probably the most exciting match I've had in a long, long time. This is nothing like it was like playing with Yen. My message again to the creator of this editor data file, who you can find on the Sports Interactive forums, is you need to allow us to make transfers. Because as the game creates players for these teams, there are simply not enough players. There are not. I've stripped my youth team of all players, and I'm still running into these problems. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? We get a bunch of guys with red cards. We get guys with big injuries. This is playing with no other editor data file. There's no extra injury pack or anything like that going on. It's a problem. You need to allow us to make transfers. And for anybody who ever makes an editor data file, you need to know that it's good to let us make some kind of transfer. And Cornelson, not knowing what he's doing, has given up a penalty to Torres, who had that there in the box, and that was always going to be a foul. And now we're really in for it, aren't we? Penalty awarded, so let's see how this one goes. And he gets the yellow card. Fortunately for us, he didn't already have one. Otherwise, we'd be down to like 8 men or something like that. Torres now is going to take this penalty and will score it, and it's 2-1 Washington State. Man, oh man, this has been interesting. This has been exciting. This is a little bit more fun than playing all those stupid non-conference games that we started off with, where we would go play nobody from the middle of Central Arkansas or whatever and beat them 4-0. I like this a lot more. Let's go play against a team that's better than us and have all of our players injured and see what they can do. And here's Solano with a corner, and it's amazing that this happens. And that one is knocked back. Did you see my assistant manager telling me here on the side that we should go very defensive, down 2-1? You want to go very defensive, so we're going to try not to push the ball forward. How do you think that's going to work when we have fewer players than they do? Whittingham with it now. Knocks this one forward, looking for Soto, and that's almost 3-1. I mean, maybe that'll work better than what we're doing. I don't know. Here's Solano. So we're doing something right if we're getting the ball in this position. I'll tell you that. Looking for Aldana, who's just having a real poor match. And Rodriguez, of course, for Washington State, passes this forward to nobody, and Meza goes over and grabs it and knocks this one back for Alpha Doe. Alpha Doe with it now and knocks this backwards towards Cook. And Cook has it now. He's going to walk it up kind of slowly and passes this forward for Aldana. Aldana looks forward to Solano. Fortunately for us, this isn't a conference game. This is just the College Cup, which is sort of our equivalent of the FA Cup here. and that is taken away, and they have another chance at a counterattack, and we're leaving ourselves wide open in the back because we just don't have anybody who can play there. Soto now knocks this one, fortunately for us, into the fifth row, and we'll let them keep doing that as long as they want. There will be fines levied after this one, even if we win. I'll tell you that much. Wood over to Whittingham, and Whittingham is taken. He's stripped of it by Alpha Doe, but it goes forward to Rodriguez, whose shot, fortunately again for us, is off target. And yeah, so many things to talk about, so many things to criticize in this match. Korn, luckily, is able to go up and grab that one. Korn's played pretty well for us so far this season. I mean, he's not giving up a ton of goals, which is amazing considering the fact that I think most of our defenders are like 15 years old. Rodriguez there had that great opportunity and sort of knocked that off of the guy's shin, and that's what brought up that corner. And we are ready for the second half of extra time. It's Aldana passing it there to Herman, who doesn't know how to play the position, backwards to Cook. Cook with it, and sort of walks that one up, and he walks it up apparently into nothing. Solano gets a talking to there by the referee, and it's Washington State in another attacking position. Diaz with it. Diaz passes it forward, looking for Kuri, and that's got to be over the line. I'm surprised they don't call that. Do we not have goal line, whatever they call it, review? Because when you look at this, the ball is over the line. There's another thing that maybe Sports Interactive needs to work on a little bit on this game, because that ball was over the line. I'm not going to say it to the ref. I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, you see what I'm talking about. Soto with it. Soto over to Torres, and his shot, fortunately for us, is up and over everybody. About 12 minutes left, and let's see if we can get something going. Here's Alpha Doe. Alpha Doe walks this up. He's probably going to be upset he wasn't starting this match. Over to Martin, back to Doe. Doe down to Herman. Herman looks forward for Aldana, and it's passed backwards to Cornelson, back to Aldana. Aldana up to Herman. Herman, again, he doesn't know how to play the position. Passes it back to Doe over to Cook. And Cook walks this one up, looks forward, and lumps this one to nobody. And it's Wood who has this for Washington State. And they're going to lump this one around again. And now this is the problem we have for not having wing backs, and there's Rodriguez wide open. And I don't know how he missed that one. He's offside is what they're saying. He was offside by about 2 inches, maybe. I mean, this isn't exactly an obvious offside call. I mean, because the pass doesn't, well, I guess he is offside there because he can't help himself long enough. But, because that pass was delayed, I didn't think he was so clearly offside. Pineda with this again, knocking it forward to Idnes Dooley, and there's nobody around him, of course. And fortunately for us, he's trying to cross it instead of getting a good angle for himself. He's Whittingham, and he crosses that over, and that should have been a goal. That should have been a goal. This Oscar Rodriguez is really going to be kicking himself for missing that one. For a little while, I was wondering what would happen to the save if European teams came along and wanted to sign our players. I don't think that we're in any danger of that happening, considering how we're playing. Yeah, let's keep this one going. Wood with it now over to Whittingham. Whittingham walks this one forward. Whittingham, still Whittingham. Whittingham again, he passes this back to Wood. Wood backwards to Torres. Torres looks forward for Ines Dooley, I think is his name, and he has a shot that Korn is able to save. I should know his name by now because he's touched the ball over and over and over again. I mean, we are definitely not winning the battle of possession here, that's for sure. Yes, Idnes Dooley, and he should have done much better with that. I mean, he had a guy right there in the center. He could have crossed it to. Solano here with the corner, and he knocks this one up and forward. It's over to Torres, to Diaz, and oh my gosh, and it's wide open there for Rodriguez, and Cook's going to get to this one first. No, I'm sorry, Meza is. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for Meza coming out of midfield to do that, and it's a good thing that we have him playing further back instead of up forward like we did originally. Here's Ines Dooley over to Soto, to Rodriguez, over to Daly again. And Daly over to Whittingham. They're looking for that cross that would have really been the dagger for us. That would have been the nail in the coffin. Solano with this now over to Meza. Meza lumps it forward for Aldana, praying for something. Goes back to Solano. Solano with this over to Meza. Meza over to Herman. Herman, and it's Aldana. Solano has it now. He brings it down. And yeah, Herman passes this forward looking for Cornelson. Can't quite find him. It's to Herman again. And he has a shot from range, which was an idea. And, I mean, he had a lot of mustard on it, I'll tell you that. But it ends up fizzling out. And this is the end of the match. And this is going to be the end of our College Cup. This is going to be the end of it. Here's the goal kick from Burkett. We don't even have the ball. How are we going to do this, guys? What's the plan? He's just going to stand there. He's not going to do anything, and that's the end of the match. I told you. We've lost. We have lost this one. And just to look here at the match stats, we actually won the possession battle. We had 53% of the possession. We just didn't know what to do with it. They had an XG of 4.74, 33 shots for them, 7 on target. Wow. Yeah. Back to the drawing board. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.